The 909 is the hardest target, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Hey everyone, Derpy here, back with another Battle Pirates video. Starting out, I like to enter from 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, either one really works, it's pretty much the same. I'm entering at 9 for this one, and I'm going to start out by killing this first Jug X, because a whole bunch of things are shrouded. You have a bunch of battlecruisers around the target, which are shrouded, so you can't kill them initially. You can kill the one in the center initially, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to head directly for this first Jug X, because you can kill this thing because it's not healed by any of the battlecruisers, so you can kill it initially before they all unshroud. And after this is dead, and you might even get the ammo carrier at the same time as this one, unfortunately, you want to try and leave those up if possible, but that is not always possible. So after this first one's down, you should take very few damage, just 1 or 2 torpedo volleys from that one. Then you're going to want to head towards the center of the target so you can get this next battlecruiser and the battlecruiser and the next Jug X if possible. It will sometimes move away from you if you do enter directly behind it like this, and you're not quite able to catch it with your spots, your black spot ability slowdown, but it will come back for more. They always seem to. Now, once this Jug X is down, unfortunately I'm not in the range of an ammo carrier when I'm doing this, but once this is down, I'm going to get the battlecruiser when it comes back, and at this point, a few things might have started to unshroud in the target, and maybe not. It looks like this one up here is unshrouded, as well as the one on the opposite corner in the bottom left, which you can't see because I'm killing this one. To get to this, I do have to kill an ammo carrier, but you really need to make sure you are leaving one ammo carrier up in the spot, because that is important to come back to. So even if you have to run away and let it run away from you, it is important to leave up one ammo carrier in each corner, which you'll see when the typhoons start coming in from the corners. At this point, I'm going to move towards the center of the target and stay about there, because the ships on either side will come towards the center, and which I don't really want them to do, but oh well. And I'm going to try and get this second battlecruiser right here in the bottom left that's unshrouded, and these ones in the middle will unshroud about partway through this, maybe just right after I've killed this. And again, you might have to kill an ammo carrier to get through. They do have a fairly short range weapon. At this point, the one in the center started moving, so I'm going to go up and kill that just to get that out of the way. I don't want it to move too far away, and then there's going to be the opposite one moving in from the other side, which I will need to kill also, when it shouldn't be that big of a deal because it's moving directly at you. So going to shoot this one down, and it's pretty easy. Then take out the battlecruiser in the bottom left. And notice these battlecruisers, none of them have a priority symbol on them, which means you really don't need to kill them. But if you want full points from the target, you need to kill the battlecruisers and the typhoons, which are pretty important, at least in terms of the full points. The typhoons are still shrouded, some of them. They seem to unshroud in a clockwise formation. This one up here is already enshrouded. The bottom one down here will be, or this one first, I guess. And they do unshroud and start moving towards you, and you need to kill them if you want full points. If you just want the target to end, you can kill everything with a priority thing on here, but I want full points from the target, at least just showing you how to do it, because it isn't super tricky. It's not easy, but it isn't super tricky. And because I want to do that, I have to kill these battlecruisers before the typhoons. There's 2 left, this one right here in the top left, and this one right here in the bottom right. I probably should have killed that bottom right one a little bit earlier. It is pretty tricky, it does take a long time to actually kill this target, because things are shrouded and you have to travel across the corner and different on the map to kill all the different things. So it's not a very short target to complete, whereas the 124, 126, which I do have videos on, are pretty easy to complete with fairly low damage and also a short seat time in the actual target. To get to this one, I'm going to have to go around the typhoon here. I don't want to engage it yet. You cannot kill the typhoon when the battlecruiser is actually active in the target. It's just going to heal it up, and you don't even get points for the damage you do to it when it's being healed. I tested that, thought that you would have a way to generate infinite points. Yeah, you don't. Okay, this ammo carrier is up just by the skin of its teeth, which is, I want it left up because I need it to kill this typhoon. Probably, maybe 1 or 2 more I could kill, but I really don't want to risk it too much. And I'm going to try to get this last battlecruiser and then the 4 typhoons with as many ammo carriers left up as possible. If I just killed the ammo carriers and the Jug X, the target would finish, but like I said, I want the full points from it. Okay, that battlecruiser, not quite down, but it will come back. It always seems to. The pathing is a little bit weird on these things. I can't tell if they path to a location or directly on you. Now is a good time to mention that the clouds in here are moving around, so just be aware of that, and that is something that is happening in the target. There is also these golden rings here, which I'm doing my best to avoid. You might get unlucky and one lands directly on top of you, and that sometimes will deal quite a significant amount of damage to you. Typhoon number 1 here is down and didn't really do much damage other than the torpedo strikes, which should be the only sources of damage from this target from the Drug X and Typhoons if you are lucky and drive well. Killing this next Typhoon looks like I have the ammo carrier in the left in range, so I don't have to worry about keeping this one on the right up too much, but I'm just going to try and do it because sometimes having 2 ammo carriers seems to give you a little bit more ammo generation than just one. I'm not quite sure on that one, but I was able to leave it up, so not too much of a big deal, right? Let's see, we have 1 Typhoon top left, 1 Typhoon bottom right. We're going to kill the top left one first because it's closest towards the center of the target and unshrouded earlier. Now is a good time to mention that I am using a Salty Dog screw, which gives bonuses to Forsaken ships like the Mutineer, and other good crews are the Steelheads, as well as potentially a Sea Serpent screw, or just nothing. It really isn't super important and doesn't matter too much. Right now, ships 1 and 5 are taking most damage. It was ship 2 at one point, so I moved my 5th ship tank version to ship number 2, but it looks like ship 5 is taking more damage. You could micromanage it and select what ship you want to go forward and move that slightly ahead of everything else if you wanted to. I haven't been finding that particularly easy to do in a target that takes as much driving and is as challenging as this one, but it is possible to do if you do want to do that. Killing this Typhoon, I need to approach it from an angle that I won't kill the ammo carrier first. I'll hopefully be in range of when I'm actually killing this thing. I'm going to use this ammo carrier on the bottom to boost up and kill the Typhoon. Hopefully that will manage to help us out here, and I want to make sure I'm leaving up a ship with a yellow priority ring at some point so that I can kill get all the points from this target. So I'm going to leave this top one up no matter what I do, and then kill the Typhoon. There are clouds that move around in here, and they seem to be a little bit random. It's not nearly as bad as last month's top target, and this target does pay out 1 million points if you kill all of it, as well as a 250,000 set bonus, which you need the S set for anyway. So you essentially get 1.25 million points for killing all of this target, which might not be worth it because it does take a pretty long time to do. So just keep that in mind. I'm just going to hit a few of these, maybe once more with the free Mutineer fleet to see the damage I can take on that one, and then most of my time will be spent hitting the 126 driving and then the 124 on auto right before I walk away for a few hours. Just one target left here, and the mini-map is not always accurate because it shows a bunch of clouds here, but I should just have this one proto ammo carrier left, kill this one, and the target will be over. Now I think I drove pretty well here. Maybe I took a little bit of explosive damage from something, but a lot of damage is on ship 5, which should be my one that's X1, which it isn't for some reason because I moved him around in the wrong spot. So maybe damage will go down if I do that. And then flagship has taken some damage too. It seems to be the flagship and 5th ship take most damage if you're driving, but if you're on auto, ship 2 can take more. I don't quite understand it, but just play around and put your ship with the highest evade, highest survival, in whatever slot is taking the most damage after a few rounds. Damage should actually be lower than you think it is from this target, and I'm using HTML5, and the health bar actually is working right here. Let's take a look at our battle report. Damage taken here was mostly concussive, a little bit of explosive. Maybe I hit a cloud or a ring or somewhere. If you could tell me what time I did that, if I watch this back, I won't really even be able to tell, but I took some small amount of explosive damage somewhere. The damage I dealt was more concussive and then explosive from the proto ammo. And then you get the bonus here and the full 1 million points for the target, and as well as the 250,000 bonus, like I said. You also do get some shard drops, which I guess is okay. Now let's look at the actual repair here on the ship. It was 35 minutes of repair, and that will come down by a little bit after you go back in base and spend 5 minutes on each ship. So if you're willing to put in the time and drive, it is possible to complete this target. And I guess if I use this ship number 2 here, the X1 with evade tank and ship 5 slot, I would take lower damage. And I have one ship at X1, my flagship is at U3, and then 2 are at U3, and one of them is at U2. So I hope this was informative, if not helpful at least. If you have questions on the path I'm using, etc., leave a comment below. I want to help you answer any questions you might have. Hope this video helped, and as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.